I swear to God, they used to say in the seminary, men, long hours, low pay, no sex. Why can't we sell this thing? Why can't we get this bird off the ground? So, you'd probably have to edit that, but whatever. Whenever a child cries in church, I always say out loud, "It's okay, Mom." Hearing that brings me back to the first time I opened my paycheck as a priest. Same reaction. And all I thought is, did I sign anything? Have I signed anything? Have they filled my old position? So if I'm going to be poor like this and aggravated, I might as well get something out of it on the other side. When it's great, it's great. When it's hard, it's bad, you know. I don't know if people don't think maybe we're human or whatever, but gone are the days of, the Bing Crosby movies where priests were looked at as on a pedestal or something. I don't have any desire to walk around posing for a holy card. I'm not a statue walking around. I'm a deeply human person with my own faults, shortcomings, but gifts. I didn't go into the seminary till the year 2000. I was 33. I took the scenic route. And for me, everyone's different. I think it's a cat and mouse game of God asking, and we're free creatures. You could say no. I could have said, well, Lord, I want to be an accountant. All right, that's not happening. Because in 6th grade, Sister Cecilia Marie said she was brutal. Mr. Simonetti, what's the difference between 2/8 and 7/8? That's right, sister. What's the difference? Come on. Who's going to jump out of an alley with a 45 Luger and say, quick, tell me, Priests, for the most part, we live alone. I was living alone at St. James in Sauk Village. I don't know if you know Sauk Village, where Ted Nugent is the patron saint. I think they took down St. Anthony and put up Ted Nugent, but I don't want to get upset. But whatever. So I noticed people around me had dogs, and I just noticed the way they interacted. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'll get a dog. So I said, well, I don't even know how to go about this, right? And I looked online, and there was someone who had a brand new litter. So all of a sudden, I had 3 dogs. Then I went and got fixed. So I couldn't have any more because my visa bill was taking a whack. But they have been just the most wonderful addition to my life. And I taught them how to sniff out if somebody's got their envelope with them or not. And if they don't, I said, you bark twice, and I'll tell her, I'll hold up mass all day till you go home and get it. In the words of Cardinal George, what do people think, the lights run on the gospel? So what I noticed, once I had the dogs, if I'm walking with dog, people who might not ever talk to me for any reason, all of a sudden would come up, be inquisitive about this creature, this beautiful creature, and then they have this great desire to show you pictures. Before, you used to pull out the plastic with the kids and all that, but it's on the phone. And I noticed that even for a brief moment, there was a connection taking place. It was all interconnected and interwoven. Creation, creatures, relationships. So it was just absolutely fascinating to me. Animals are all throughout Scripture as an aid to men and women on their mission in this life, and how we are called to care for them, And so I ended up doing a doctorate took me about 5 years. Other people's dissertations, like in theology, they were like St. Augustine, according to the patristic, and who gives a shit about that? Nobody cares. And I said, who cares about that? I'm a priest, not a saint. For me, I'm practical. Right now, what does somebody in their heart really care about? So I called it Pet and Pray, the transforming power of grace and communion through God's beloved creatures. Cardinal George used to say, when he was sick, very sick, he said, if you can't find God in your prayer, then you have to find him in the community. Those are your life rafts. And for me right now, especially, again, I'm really having a hard time. My parents both passed away in April within 3 weeks of each other. And my friend, who I've known my whole life, 2 weeks before my dad died, killed himself. It's been a horrible year for me. Life doesn't seem to make sense. Everything's out of place. Everything's unconnected right now, and it's really difficult. You know, we all have to have something beautiful or something that brings us happiness. And for me, again, to kind of counteract the negative, very real, hard parts of it. Everything I do, cooking or writing, I like to write, is centered. It really is rooted in relationship. That's what gives me life. And as Cardinal George once said, when we die, the only thing that will remain and follow us into the afterlife is the relationships. It's the only thing that will survive. Death is the relationships. We have to maintain them and find them and create them and repair them and everything else. So everything I try to do, like the humor at Mass, I mean, it's not the Gong Show. Like one day I was talking a little long during my homily and I turned to one guy, said, "We doing okay?" I said, "Do I got to bring in an IV? You up? You good?" He said, "Yeah, we're good. We're good." I said, "Okay, I'm bringing the plane down. So just hang on. Bringing the plane down. Are you up on your envelopes?"
Next week, episode 3, a bootleg stays busy.
Nobody goes out onto that stage without my approval, and that's exhausting.
From Superphonic Studios, this is Chicago. Listen every Sunday.